This is the CBC Morning Report for today, Tuesday, June 13th. I'm Tisha Hines. Good morning. In our top story, the latest statistics from COVID-19 testing by the Ministry of Health and Wellness reveal 434 new cases during the two-week period, May 27th to June 9th. To analyze these statistics is family physician and Morning Report contributor, Dr. Adrian Lord. Good morning to you, Dr. Lord.
Good morning, Tisha. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks. Good to have you with us. Now, with 434 new cases from 1,157 tests or so, what's the positivity rate on this?
Yeah, my calculated positivity rate is 37.5%. So that means that 3.75 persons out of 10 persons who were tested were positive. Those are the persons who are reportedly tested. As you know, there are only two testing sites that the government has now, the Eunice Gibson Polyclinic in Warrens and the Bramford Polyclinic in Black Rock. Others may have had private testing, a smaller number, but this is just the reported testing. There are obviously several other cases that may have been there. There we estimate another three times that number, who may not have recognized that they may have had COVID, or may have done their home testing, the rapid testing, and then hopefully would have put things in place to prevent spread of the virus.
So how does this rate compare to maybe past records, including more recent stats?
Yeah, it is a surge. The last rate that we would have had would have been about 31% in the previous 2 weeks, and we had 27%, and we've been rising in the percentage. We must recognize, though, that the number of tests are now being done are tests of persons who are suspected to have had COVID-19, who may have had a cough, a cold, who may have had sinuses, or who may have been in contact with persons. We know that the Ministry of Health also stated that there were four persons at the geriatric hospital at that time who would have been tested positive for the virus. We don't know the outcome of those, if there are more, hence the larger numbers. But we know that in that one institution, there were some cases on one ward, I think Ward 6B, I think they said it was, that was tested, who were tested positive for the virus at that time. But it is definitely a surge of cases that we are seeing.
Now, if we look back at the dashboard, we can see that only 11 people have been hospitalized, and that's down from about 15 or so. So clearly, fewer serious cases. So that seems to be some good news in that particular area.
Yeah, only 11 persons were presently hospitalized up until the 9th of this month. Some person told me it is 11 plus the 3 who died. But no, that would suggest that there are fewer serious cases who were hospitalized. You know that in order to be hospitalized now, the government doesn't come around with an ambulance or anything and collect you. You have to go to the Harson's Point. Obviously, call in the hot number, and then they would advise you what needs to be done. So the numbers hospitalized at Harson's Point where that number is a decreasing number. So it may be that, but the problems with COVID-19 is not only the acute cases, which can be mild. You know, the virus and the variants of the virus that we have now are more contagious and more easily spread. But down the line, what my colleagues at the QEH are seeing, as far as hospital admissions are seeing, are persons with long COVID, persons who have had COVID weeks or even months or maybe even years ago, who are now presenting with symptoms of long COVID. And that is not LUNG, that is LONG COVID.
All right, so what then is your professional advice to Barbadians, especially with the crop over season in full flight?
Yeah, don't be scared of what's going on. Just be cautious. I think what we need to be cautious. Walk with your hand sanitizer, because there are no hand sanitizer. There are not many hand sanitizing stations around these days. Also, keep your distancing from persons if possible, and also wear your mask. Wear your mask if you are in crowded situations, if you're in that minibus, if you're at crowded fets and so on, wear your mask. if you're going into the doctor's office or in institutions where people are coughing, or if you have persons who would have been exposed to the virus, or you suspect, or you have what is called sinus problems, as people say, there's a virus going around. The virus going around is actually COVID-19. There are other viruses out there, but wear a mask and protect yourselves, because you need to protect yourselves, your family, your friends, and your work colleagues.
As far as the vaccines are concerned, I know there was a heavy thrust behind getting vaccinated. So is getting vaccinated against COVID still a priority, or should it be?
It should be, and it still is. Unfortunately, the bivalent and trivalent and quadrivalent vaccines, which the World Health Organization have now approved, are not available here in Barbados. So I haven't been on the scene telling people to go get vaccinated. There's no longer the requirement for vaccination if you're traveling and so on. But vaccination does help to protect you from getting severe or serious disease. So yes, you should still be fully vaccinated. The problem is that the vaccines that we would have had, your immunity would have waned, except for those persons who may have had COVID in recent times. So we need that booster. A booster should be given every 6 to 12 months, especially because we have a vulnerable population here in Barbados, and therefore we are at risk for this surge that we are seeing, and also the complications of COVID-19, which would have a great effect on our healthcare system in the future.
I know you talked about the long COVID. Some people refer to it as long haul COVID. Certainly the effects of having the COVID virus in your body. What advice do you have for people specifically who are dealing with the symptoms that come along with long COVID?
Yeah, very good question, Tisha. Most persons might not recognize that these symptoms they're having may be related to the long COVID, the brain fog, the anxiety, memory loss, which can occur, the rapid heart rate, the chronic cough, the chest pain, the prolonged diarrhea. Those are some of the symptoms that one can get from long COVID, and they don't realize or associate it with the COVID-19 infection that they may have had some time ago. So it's important for them to recognize that there could be, and seek get medical care, get your tests done, because we are still seeing the effects on the heart, on the lungs, on the skin, rashes, anemia, fatigue, malaise. Those are some of the symptoms that are coming out, which we are seeing, which we are associating with having had a recent or even not so recent infection of COVID-19.
Thank you so much for your time this morning, Dr. Lord. You definitely have left us with lots to think about and lots to do.
Thank you, and keep safe, and wear your mask if you have to, when you have to.
All right, that's some great advice. I hope you take that with you as you go through your day as well. Coming up on the CBC Morning Report, authorities pledge to keep their city safe for Donald Trump's first scheduled court appearance to face federal criminal charges today.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more. You get it all when you get MCTV, because MCTV gives you
Former United States President Donald Trump has arrived in Miami for an historic federal court appearance on charges he stole classified information and lied to block efforts to get it back. He touched down in his private plane on Monday afternoon ahead of today's initial appearance in front of a judge.
He faces 37 charges over the alleged mishandling of classified documents, which he kept after his term ended in 2021. He's the first former president in US history to face criminal charges. Security is being stepped up in the US state of Florida before his arraignment on Tuesday. Many of Trump's supporters are calling for protests and rallies outside the Miami courthouse. Alan Fisher is live for us in Miami. Alan, so Trump is now in Florida. Law enforcement is beefing up security. Well, what's it like there?
Well, we're seeing the security slowly cranking up over the last few hours. Certainly a lot of agencies are involved in making sure that this area is secure. What we are standing on is federal property, so the Federal Protection Service will take care of here. They have pointed that the sidewalk, the pavement not far from where I'm standing, is public property and protesters can gather there. But there is the intention that this area will be secured by tomorrow morning, and whether that means a line of officers or whether or not there'll be fences, they wouldn't discuss. But it's clear that they're putting preparations in place to make sure that people are kept well away from the courthouse. We've also heard from the Chief of Police in the last couple of hours. He said that leave for police officers has been cancelled on Tuesday. Plainclothes detectives are being asked to show up in uniform. They are making preparations for a crowd of anywhere between 5,000 and 50,000. And they say that in Miami there have been protests in the past, but people have tended to be at least courteous towards law enforcement, and they believe that that will be the same thing again. But certainly all of those steps are in place, and there may well be road closures at some point as we get closer to Donald Trump's appearance in court here at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon.
And run us through what actually happens in court then on Tuesday.
Well, he'll drive from Doral, which is about 30 minutes away. He will enter into the court building behind me. He will go underground. There he'll meet court officials, and just like anyone else who is appearing in federal court, he will be taken for photographs and electronic fingerprints. He will then be escorted into the court. Now, you remember a similar sort of thing happened when he was in court in New York in April, but that was a state court, not a federal court. The rules are different, so there'll be no pictures of Donald Trump inside the courtroom at all. There may be some artist sketches. He'll face the judge. He'll be told the details of the 37 charges against him. He may or may not enter a plea at that point. We expect his legal team to argue that there is no case to answer, that the charges are political in nature, that this is a selective prosecution and therefore the case should be thrown out. That is unlikely to happen, so dates will be set for the next set of legal hearings, which will almost inevitably happen. But this court is known as a court that tends to push cases through pretty quickly. It's known as the rocket docket court, believe it or not, and so they're thinking that a date could be set for the trial in about 6 months' time.
Ukraine says it is continuing to make advances against Russian troops occupying its south and east as the early stages of its much-hyped counter-offensive take shape. Kyiv said on Monday it wrestled away 7 villages since the weekend and made small gains near an eastern city.
In the past day, Ukraine says more than 24 battles have taken place around the eastern town of Bakhmut and further south. It says Russia carried out more than 30 airstrikes and several dozen missile strikes in the regions. Ukraine's Deputy Defence Minister says the country's troops have now recaptured 7 villages from Russian forces in the southeast.
At first, the enemy resisted, tried to repel our attack with artillery. We managed to take initiative into our hands and slowly, house by house, we started to recapture the village. Approximately, we killed 10 enemy soldiers and took 4 prisoners.
That follows Kyiv's claims that a cluster of settlements were retaken along the front lines in the Donetsk region, where Russian forces have been entrenched for months. On Monday, Ukrainian troops said liberated the village of Storozheve from Russian occupation. The recapture of 3 other small settlements nearby was announced on Sunday. Russia's defence ministry says its forces have repelled Ukrainian attacks. Charles Stratford is just north of those villages, near Velika Novosilka, and has more on operations there.
We've just come out of the completely destroyed town of Velika Novosilka. Now, this is the epicenter of one of these big pushes being made seemingly by Ukrainian forces trying to advance south on Russian positions. According to the government and the military, they have, in their words, liberated, taken back control of a number of settlements south of that town. Well, that's not what we're hearing from some of the soldiers, commanders that we've spoken to in this area. They're saying that mop-up operations are still ongoing in these settlements. And certainly there's a lot of heavy shelling that we heard. We understand Grad missiles, heavy artillery being used. The situation is exceptionally tense in this town, and one can only imagine further south. Very, very few civilians around also. Western intelligence agencies will tell you that this push in this area so far, the Ukrainians haven't even met yet the first big, heavy line of Russian defense. The weather has been a lot better today, meaning that both sides can use their drones as reconnaissance and spotting targets, and the ground is dry again because there was fears that this counter-offensive, or the beginnings of it, may be halted because it's very difficult to use tanks in wet weather. So yeah, a lot of heavy fighting, not just here, but in various different places along the front line. It's going to be very interesting to see just how far the Ukrainians really can keep this momentum going in the hours, days, even weeks ahead.
Well, it's time now for us to review what's coming up on Morning Barbados today. Our CEO, Sanka Price, CEO of the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation, he will be in along with a representative from the China Media Group in Latin America and responsible for the Caribbean region as well, talking about a new partnership that's coming up. We're also going to tell you about Barbados Trust Fund Limited and what they have to offer for small business people. In that vein, Sagicor Bank will be along to onboard us with their new setup for the new online digital services they're offering. And we will be having conversations on CARICOM as we do every Tuesday. Today we're taking a look at the Haitian stakeholders meeting that happened in Jamaica recently, and we're going to start the show by talking to you about the Rock Hall Heritage and International Fair. That's all coming up a little later on Morning Barbados, but next we have more news, a little sports and weather coming up. Stay with us.
Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more. You get it all when you get MCTV, because MCTV gives you more.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational.
The island's Environment Ministry is on a mission to reduce plastic pollution in a bid to save lives. That's the word from Environment Minister Adrian Ford. He says it's necessary as different substances are released into the environment and ecosystems when plastics degrade. Action is necessary, he says, as the island and other states continue to face a triple plenary crisis, coupled with 400 million tons of plastics dumped annually worldwide. His comments came during a news conference at his Warren's Towers 2 offices yesterday.
We are trained to save lives, to save our environment. That is what we are trying to do inadvertently. Because when these plastics get into our gullies and our ecosystems, where they end up is anybody's guess. We have facts, scientifically of course, that the microplastics, the breakdown of this material, that they can be absorbed into our plant life. And you know, everybody in Barbados know that Barbadians enjoy their fruits. We enjoy our vegetables. So when these dioxins and microplastics get into our plant life, they end up here in our digestive systems.
The ministry will continue its series of outreaches in schools and communities to encourage behavior change from target groups. Additionally, through the Environmental Protection Department, an assessment of plastic waste on the island will soon be conducted. Department head Anthony Headley says this will be funded through a 6-figure grant secured from the Basel Convention Plastic Waste Partnership.
Barbados competed among over 100 proposals and we were successful, and we are going to be receiving some grant funding around the tune of 170,000 Barbados dollars to conduct an assessment of plastics in Barbados. Our project proposal was entitled Enhancing Opportunities to Create a Circular Economy Through Improved Management of Plastics and Plastics Waste. The intent behind this particular proposal is to look at all of the plastics coming into the island and do what is known as a material flow analysis to allow us to understand in more detail the volumes of plastics that are imported into the island, the distribution of those plastics, and how those plastics get into the waste system.
A safe school recognition program has been rolled out in Barbados. The 3-day Ministry of Education and the Caribbean Disaster Relief Agency exercise is aimed at making schools and the school plant in Barbados safer. CBC's Trevor Thorpe reports.
An effort is being made to improve the environment at schools across Barbados, making it safer for students. The program is part of a Caribbean-wide Safe Schools initiative and has the support of the Government of Norway, the Caribbean Development Bank and UNICEF.
What we are looking to do is to encourage schools to have school safety at the forefront. And so one of the things we'll be looking at, for example, is doing schools carrying out the drills, for example. We will also be doing things like looking at the assessment of the physical building. All of those will form part of a holistic program that we are looking at in terms of school safety throughout the region.
The education official says more than 500 persons from the industry have already been trained, and it will not be a one-off exercise.
We're looking at a multi-hazard environment, not just hurricanes. As you know, earthquakes, tsunamis, you name it. We are not only focused on hurricanes. So throughout the year, schools are encouraged on a termly basis, for example, to at least carry out at least 2 drills per term. It can be a fire, it can be an earthquake, it can be tsunami, it can be a lockdown. So there are varying, and as you know, we live in a multi-hazard environment, and so we don't only focus on hurricanes.
And Deputy Chief Education Officer Joy Adamson says principals from across the school spectrum will be trained.
On Thursday and Friday, we actually train assessors. We have safety officers. We have currently 7 safety officers in our schools, and we have persons from the Health and Safety Committee from the schools. They'll be coming in to be assessors, so training as assessors, so that they can go out to the schools then and tell the schools, okay, this is missing, we commend you on this, so that across the board they'll be able to tell persons what it is that we're looking for a safe school.
The Safe Schools program is to provide principals, teachers and auxiliary staff with the skills required to put together a school's safety program. Trevor Thorpe, CBC News.
Thank you so much, Trevor. The Grenada tourism industry has launched a culinary partnership with renowned chef Alexander Smalls, aimed at raising the country's profile as a leading culinary destination. We have a report from GBN.
The partnership will involve a masterclass with local chefs, recipe development, showcasing Grenada's spices and cocoa, a taste-maker event featuring celebrity and influential chefs, a fireside chat with Grenada's leaders in food security, agriculture sustainability, and a spice replanting program. The multi-talented Alexander Smalls is both a Grammy and Tony Award-winning opera singer and a James Beard Award-winning chef, restaurateur, author, and culinary activist. He is the visionary of the restaurant Cecil, which won Esquire magazine's Best New Restaurant in America, New York City's first Afro-Asian American, Brassieres, and its sister jazz club, Minton's. He is the founder and creator of Akibulan, the first African dining hall in the world, which opened in Dubai in 2021 and has been visited by over 24 million people. Chef Alexander Smalls is quoted as saying, "I am excited because the Spice Island concept is near and dear to the work that I do. I look forward to bringing a congress of chefs to explore the island and to create partnerships on the ground with local vendors and restaurateurs. We'll also be creating a series of engaging and interactive video content that will excite locals and the global community who should know and celebrate Grenada as we do." Minister for Economic Development, Planning, Tourism and ICT, Creative Economy, Agriculture and Lands, Fisheries and Cooperatives, Honorable Lennox Andrews, had welcomed the initiative. He said, "Grenada's soil is rich and produces some of the best spices in the world. The partnership with Chef Smalls will elevate awareness of Grenada as a top culinary destination in the Caribbean, with a variety of new events and experiences geared towards enticing the taste buds of visitors and locals alike."
In sports, Wharton Football Club pulled out the biggest upset so far of the 2023 BFA Premier League season by handing leaders Weymouth Wales their first defeat. Playing at the Wildy Turf in a tight contest, an own goal from Akeem Hill in the 80th minute secured the 1-0 win for Wharton and 3 vital points.
Tackle it towards the back post where Smith chested onwards. It falls and off the post and in. Blown out, blown off. Into the box he goes to Shane Lord across the face of goal into the back of the net. How did he get that pass, Primus Paul? That was the most acute of angles, and Wharton have scored in the 79th minute. They race over to the crowd.
Wharton are 5th on 21 points, while Wales remain top of the table with 34 points. In the night's other 2 matches, Empire blanked St Andrew Lions 2-1 thanks to a double strike from Daniel Calvi in the 13th and 70th minutes. Jamal Williams scored for the Lions in the 43rd. Empire are now on 28 points and retake the 2nd spot from Ellerton Football Club. Meanwhile,
and you can see the frustration beginning to come for the Empire team.
Bit of a moment there from Blackman. He's let Williams in, and both keepers now have made horrendous mistakes. Jerome Blackman hangs his head in disgust, and it's an absolute dolly of a back pass.
They were creating some chances, but were not able to convert over the last 10-15 minutes. The
Chapman finds Calvi with the clipped finish. Beautiful ball from Alvin Chapman. And an equally exquisite finish from Daniel Calvi.
it's time now for a look at the weather. The present barometric pressure, 1014.7 millibars, is 27.6 degrees Celsius. The relative humidity stands at 81%, and the winds are blowing out of the east at 19 kilometers per hour. General conditions, partly cloudy. Sea conditions, moderate in open water with swells ranging from 1.5 to 2 meters. And here's a look at how your tides roll in for today. The general forecast for Barbados, a mix of sunshine and clouds with a few brief scattered light to moderate showers. And as we move into the evening period, it will be partly cloudy with a few brief isolated light showers. Definitely showers that we need. That's the end of the morning report. Remember, we're going to have an update of CBC News at midday right here on TV8, followed by The World at 1 on our radio network of stations, 100.7 FM, 98.1 The One, and 94.7 FM. It's time now for Morning Barbados.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning to you.
Good morning to you. It's Tuesday, June 13th, and you're tuned to Morning Barbados on CBC TV8. I am Tishia Hines, and I'll be here with you until 8 o'clock this morning. We are going to delve into some very interesting things for Morning Barbados today. So we're going to share exactly what will be happening with you on the show today. First of all, we'll be checking in with conversations on CARICOM. We're going to talk to you about what's been happening with the Haitian stakeholders meeting, along with His Excellency David Commichong, the Barbados ambassador to CARICOM. Then we're going to talk to you about a partnership which is happening with the China Media Group. Our CEO, Sanka Price, will be in along with Linda Gong, a journalist with the China Media Group for Latin America and the Caribbean. We're going to be sharing about the Barbados Trust Fund Limited and what they have available for you, small business owners and people looking to get into entrepreneurship in future. And we're going to be discussing the dynamic digital financial institution that is Sagicor Bank. Plus, we close out today's presentation with pediatric care with Dr. Gillian Birchwood, consultant pediatrician and neonatologist at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. Today, we're looking at skin problems that the little ones might be having. But we get the program started. We're still in the season of emancipation, so we're talking about all that's happening within this season, like the Rock Hall Heritage and International Fair, which is coming up. And to discuss this with us, we have Senator John King, Government Special Advisor on Culture and Heritage, as well as Dr. Sharon Johnson, Senior Cultural Policy and Research Officer and Cultural Focal Point for Historic Bridgetown and its Garrison, Division of Culture, Prime Minister's Office. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning,
I really
Barbados.
should say good morning and welcome back.
Yes, we are residents there.
All right, so let's start with a summary, Senator King, on all that has been happening so far during this season of emancipation.
Well, for those who have been following us for some time now, we kicked off in April. We go all the way down to August 27th. So far, we've had a wonderful season so far. Lots of interesting conversations, lots of interesting feedback from the general public in terms of them being able to be involved in the conversation. You know, this year we're taking special interest in the educational aspects of the season of emancipation. But the Rock Hall Heritage and International Food Fair is a combination of two events we had last year. And due to, as everyone knows, we've had some budget cuts and we've had to shift a few things. We've condensed both those events into one. And on Saturday, and that's this Saturday, June 17th, it happens at Rock Hall, starts early in the morning from 10 o'clock until 6 in the afternoon. This is an opportunity for those of you who are looking for something to do, especially as a family. Great occasion to come out of the house, meet entrepreneurs from Barbados in a wide variety of culinary treats. That's the way I would put it. And also craft persons. But Father's Day is not too far away. And so it's a good opportunity to bring out your fathers and to, as they would say, wine and dine them and get them some wonderful gifts in the wonderful setting of Rock Hall Freedom Village, the first place where persons of African descent had the opportunity to own lands in Barbados. And with all of that history and all of that heritage surrounding it, I want to invite everyone to pass through on that day. But Sharon is here with me this morning, and she's the brainchild behind a lot of this particular aspect of Season of Emancipation Heritage Month. So I'll let her talk a little bit more about it, and I'll come back, Tisha.
Can't let it go. So he has passed the mantle on to you.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has. Thank you so much. Yes, as Senator King said, it's going to be a family fun day event all day long. This particular event is being hosted in collaboration with the Ministry of People Empowerment and Elder Affairs. They've come on board because they saw it as a family-friendly event in which they can particularly reach out to the elderly population. We're going to have a specific feature, the Remembering Corner, where we're inviting the elderly to come to Rock Hall, where their stories of growing up in Barbados can be recorded. Within that corner, we will also have oral stories conducted by the National Library Service being screened throughout the day. They have done some wonderful work in capturing the fisheries stories of the fisher folk, and other oral stories will be in that corner, as well as an exhibition of artifacts. So that will create a space for the transference of knowledge to the younger ones, for persons to reflect and reminisce about growing up in Barbados and looking at old objects and again telling the stories. So that is a particular aspect that we want to bring out. The elderly come out to Rock Hall. It's a place, if you've never been before, it's very relaxing, it's very quiet. You don't even imagine that, hey, I'm in Barbados. It's very quiet and very peaceful place, very serene. Also, there will be a special children's corner hosted by the National Library Service, and they intend to bring out all guns blazing, puppetry, giveaways, storytelling, children's games. Imagine going up there and being able to play hopscotch and Chinese skip and all those various things. So the children, we have a packed program for you, giveaways again in the children's corner, lots of books to give away. And that is something that we are asking. Look, the children are coming, no jumping tents. That's not part of what we're doing up there. It's all going to be things linked to our culture and heritage. Apart from that, we're going to have displays of cultural practices, wood carving. We're going to have talks on the origins of uses of herbal medicines and plants by Dr. Anthony Richards. There'll be a genealogy workshop by the Division of Archives. So if you're interested in tracing your genealogy and learning how to do so, I suggest you walk with at least the date of birth of your parents. That will start you going. And from there, Ingrid and her team will be able to guide you through the process. So you can learn about landscape maneuvers and also learn what we're doing in the ministry relative to the intangible heritage, how we are starting to collect information on that. We've lost a lot of those cultural practices, and we are going into this very aggressively. We've had a program the last year and a half in which we're starting to collect information. So you come and you learn about what we're doing. So much more to do. I can't even say all. There's also going to be a fashion show, the African fashion market. So there's so much to do at Rock Hall throughout the day. Our MC is Antoine Williams, and he will guide the process all throughout the day. There will be things happening that you can drop in. We'll be posting the program of activities on our website, on our Facebook page and IG page, so persons can log in to see what they are interested in doing.
17th, and it runs from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. So you have the entire day to come on through. Like you mentioned, a family occasion, and always wonderful to share with the children some of the initiatives and games and so on of yesteryear. I'm also told that there is a paint a picture of your village competition. Will that also be a part of the actual fair as well, or is that something separate?
Well, that's a separate competition, but we will be sensitizing the public to that, to encouraging people to do it. One of our partners who will be there at the fair will be the National Arts Council, and they are the partner. Will be doing the paint a picture of your village competition with us. And this competition really, we're trying to encourage amateur artists all across Barbados to paint pictures of their communities. I mean, so many talented people across Barbados, who've never had the opportunity, would have done art in school or never did art in school, but just have that innate ability. And there's an opportunity for them to really showcase. They have on the until July the 7th to submit their information, but we will have information on hand, and again, that's on our social media page, and soon you'll be seeing something coming out as well. More information.
When you say the social media page, you mean on the NCF's?
Well, it's
social?
going to be on Division of Culture, and it
Division
also
of
will
Culture.
be on NCF's page and the Barbados museums. We share information across all the platforms of the various stakeholders within the Heritage Month.
Okay.
And also you will see it on the National Art Gallery's page as well.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, Senator John, last word for you on the encouragement. Definitely two wonderful initiatives coming up, the Rock Hall Heritage and International Food Fair, and so much more. I don't know how we just have food in there, but there seems to be so much more happening. Food, etc. fair. And then, of course, the paint your picture of your village competition, which I just love. As you mentioned, Dr. Johnson, there's so many people out here who are talented who don't get that platform to be able to showcase. So, Senator John, this is another wonderful initiative within the season of emancipation where Barbadians can truly showcase their talent and get to know more about their heritage, both tangible and intangible.
Correct, Tisha. And I just want to let people know that we're set up for parking over by the St. Thomas Parish Church, and we have the opportunity to shuttle you across, because in the area itself we expect thousands upon thousands of persons. We want to make it easy for you. You get the opportunity to go by the shops and walk across the bridge, which in itself is an experience going into Rock Hall. You get to be around the monument to hear the story of our predecessors who got hold of that land in an interesting way. And so all of that is going to be going on. And again, I would just want to encourage all Barbadians from all walks of life, from every section of the island, to make your way to Rock Hall. It starts at 10 a.m. in the morning. We are going to close off at 6 in the afternoon, but there's a little bit of everything for everybody. And as a family, I think there are not enough things that we do that engage both our young and mature audiences so that they can interact and talk to each other and learn from each other. This is the perfect opportunity to do so.
Celebrating and preserving our natural heritage. Thank you so much, Senator John King and Dr. Sharon Johnson, for coming on and sharing with us. Have a wonderful day today, and we certainly anticipate that the event is going to be all that we expect it to be coming up on June 17th. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And thank you. Coming up next, conversations on CARICOM. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
With just 14 minutes to go before the 7 o'clock hour, it's for us to delve into conversations on CARICOM. And boy, over the last 2 weeks, there have been many things happening as far as CARICOM is concerned. But one thing that has been top of mind is that CARICOM Haitian stakeholders meeting that happened between Sunday the 11th and Tuesday the 13th of June. That's the day. We'll continue. So let's invite Ambassador David Commichon on to tell us more about the outcome and what is expected going forward. Good morning, sir, and welcome.
Good morning, Tisha. Real pleasure to be here. Yes, we want to go right into it. A very historic event, I would say. The engagement between CARICOM and the Haitian stakeholders started on Sunday, and it's a 3-day engagement, so today is the final day. You know, for some time now, CARICOM citizens have been asking, well, what is CARICOM doing in relation to the crisis in Haiti? And CARICOM has been playing its role. It has tried to do many things, but I think that what is transpiring today, what is currently working today, is perhaps CARICOM's boldest and most substantial initiative. And basically what it is that CARICOM has established a group of eminent persons, 3 former CARICOM prime ministers. Prime Minister Kenny Anthony of St. Lucia, Prime Minister Perry Christie of the Bahamas, and Prime Minister Bruce Golding of Jamaica. So they have been constituted an eminent persons group, and they have been mandated to carry out a number of engagements with the what we call the Haitian stakeholders. That is, representatives of Haitian civil society, representatives of the administration, the governmental administration in Haiti, with a view to bringing them to the negotiating table and helping them to work out a consensus on a way forward for Haiti. And so that CARICOM Good Offices mission has started with this engagement in Jamaica. We have brought dozens of Haitian civil society leaders to Jamaica to sit with each other and with our group of eminent persons for 3 days to talk through all that is happening in Haiti and to work towards a national consensus. But this is just the beginning. The group of eminent persons will be going to Haiti for several other meetings and discussions with the Haitian stakeholders. And this is a CARICOM initiative. This is a homegrown CARICOM initiative. It is primarily financed by CARICOM. So CARICOM countries, with all the problems that we are facing, we have pulled our pockets to put this in place. And we hope that this is just the beginning of a process that will lead to a new day for Haiti.
Now, I know that we also have a clip to show us a little bit of how things have been going, so we're going to ask you to set that up for us.
Yes, well, the clip we have is of the opening ceremony of the engagement on Sunday morning. And several people spoke, Prime Minister of Jamaica, the Secretary General of CARICOM, etc. But the speech that I really want us to focus on is the address that was made by former Prime Minister Bruce Golding, speaking on behalf of the 3-member group of eminent persons, because this little clip will give you an idea into the thinking of the group of eminent persons and into the process that they're going to lead. So this is just a short clip from his address.
We expect that this will be the first of many engagements that we will have with important stakeholders in Haiti. We plan to travel to Haiti for further discussions with an even wider group of stakeholders and to build on those areas of agreement that we hope will emerge from the Kingston talks. We are not closing our eyes or closing our ears to any voice that we feel can help to arrive at a lasting solution to the problems that Haiti is experiencing. We also plan to engage the Haitian diaspora, especially those in the United States and Canada. No matter how long they have left the shores of Haiti, their hearts are still there. And we believe that their interests and concerns are identical to yours. We believe that they have a significant role to play in the search for solutions and in charting a way forward. Let me make it very clear. We are not here to propose a fix for the troubles that Haiti is experiencing. Haiti has had enough of that over centuries, and invariably they don't work. Some of them indeed have made the situation in Haiti even worse. Devising a plan to resolve the conflicts, to manage, if not harmonize, the differing interests, to design a pathway, a roadmap, if you will, for an appropriate constitutional framework, a restoration of law and order, where Haiti is ruled by laws and not by men, an executive and a legislature that are established by elections that are free and fair and free from fear, an environment in which all Haitians, no matter what their economic or social status, can feel safe and secure, assured that their fundamental rights and their individual equality are guaranteed and protected by an independent judiciary. No one, not us, not anyone, can do that for you. No one should be allowed to do that for you. And no one should be presumptuous enough to think that they are entitled to do that for you. All that we dare to offer is to help to facilitate the dialogue, the earnest conversations that must take place if acceptable and sustainable solutions are to be found. Haiti's remarkable history, which has been alluded to by speakers before me, that remarkable history beckons all of us. Its courage, its defiance, its tenacity led the way for ending slavery and removing colonial oppression across the African continent and throughout the Caribbean and Latin America, including the countries of CARICOM. Haiti deserves far better than has been its experience over the last 2 centuries. Toussaint Louverture deserves to be allowed to rest in peace, something I doubt that he has been able to do. But the lasting solution has to be a Haitian solution, difficult and complex, even intractable, as the situation may now appear. It is by no means insoluble. As the saying goes, if we have the will and if we have the commitment, we can find a spanner to fit any knot. And it is a challenge that the Haitian people must be prepared to embrace. The solutions are within your reach. What we hope to do over these 2 days and in the conversations will continue even after the Kingston meeting. What we hope to do is to see if we can help to put those solutions that are within your reach, certainly within your grasp. It's going to be a long journey, but with every step, the journey becomes shorter and the destination draws nearer. I implore you, let's work as hard as we can, as earnestly as we must over these 2 days, to build that roadmap so that the journey can begin. You are going to lead the way, but we, your CARICOM brothers and sisters, will be right there with you every step of that way to help and support you in every way we can, because you're part of us. You are family, and we don't want any of you to ever forget that. God bless you.
And that was the Honorable Bruce Golding addressing the opening ceremony there of the engagement just past Sunday. Ambassador, I see what you were saying about the, what he shared and what they expect, especially when he said people should be free. It should be free and fair, and people should be free from fear. Definitely a powerful statement.
Oh, yes. I thought that he really encapsulated almost everything, even the history. That line that Toussaint Louverture needs to be allowed to rest in peace. And, what he's referring to is that glorious Haitian Revolution. That Haitian Revolution is our Caribbean people's greatest achievement. It is our achievement because we are family. We are Haiti and Haiti is us. The same people we came across on the same ships. The ship just dropped off some, in Barbados, and then the ships went on to places like Haiti and dropped off others. So we are family, and we went through the same historical experiences. And so a Haitian achievement is a Barbadian achievement, is a Jamaican achievement, a St. Lucian achievement, it's a Haitian achievement because we're family. And what that Haitian Revolution did, as we know, it actually broke the back of the slavery system and permitted other colonies to eventually gain their own freedom from enslavement. But what has not been appreciated is that the Haitian Revolution actually invented the concept of universal human rights. Much more powerful than the American Revolution, the French Revolution. The Americans talked about the American Revolution, all men are created equal, and then held black people as slaves. The Haitian Revolution said, no, freedom is for everybody, regardless of color, regardless of ethnicity, regardless of race. That is the birth of universal human rights, But Haiti has been punished for 200 years, and we have to help our Haitian brothers and sisters get out of this terrible situation that they have been placed in. We are the ones who really care about them as our kith and kin. And so as former Prime Minister Golding says, look, we are committed to being with the Haitian people on this journey. We are going to be there with them. We are invested in this process. And I think we should feel very proud about CARICOM because, in the past, CARICOM perhaps has not fully embraced its kinship and its responsibility for Haiti. But here we see a clear and concrete sign that the CARICOM sensibility has evolved. We have now stepped forward, and we are taking responsibility for solving this crisis in Haiti. And yes, so I just thought it's so important that across the region, our citizens know that this is happening, that this is our resolve, and all of us should give whatever support we can to seeing this initiative through to a successful conclusion.
We most certainly look forward to seeing the outcomes of this particular move from CARICOM to really just play a role in getting to some place of resolve with Haiti. Thank you so much, Ambassador. We most certainly look forward to further conversations on what's happening across CARICOM in the coming weeks.
Yes, and well, hopefully we will get a report on what was accomplished over these 3 days. So I'm really crossing my fingers that out of those 3 days of talks, we will make substantial progress that the group of eminent persons will be able to build upon in the weeks and months ahead. So I'll try to keep you informed.
Thank you so much. And thanks, of course, for your time. It's just after 7 o'clock in Barbados and across the Eastern Caribbean. Time for an update of the news.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
3.5 minutes after 7 o'clock, time for an update of the news. The island's Environment Ministry is on a mission to reduce plastic pollution in a bid to save lives. That's a word from the Environment Minister, Adrian Ford. He says it's necessary as different substances are released into the environment and ecosystems when plastics degrade. Action is necessary, he says, as the island and other states continue to face a triple planetary crisis coupled with 400 million tons of plastics dumped annually worldwide. His comments came during a news conference at his Warren Towers 2 offices yesterday.
We are trained to save lives, to save our environment. That is what we are trying to do inadvertently. Because when these plastics get in our gullies and our ecosystems, where they end up is anybody's guess. We have facts, scientifically of course, that the microplastics, the breakdown of this material, that they can be absorbed into our plant life. And everybody in Barbados know that Barbadians enjoy their fruits. We enjoy our vegetables. So when these dioxins and microplastics get into our plant life, they end up here in our digestive systems.
The ministry will continue its series of outreaches in schools and communities to encourage behavior change from target groups. Additionally, through the Environmental Protection Department, an assessment of plastic waste on the island will soon be conducted. Department head Anthony Headley says this will be funded through a 6-figure grant secured by the Basel Convention Plastic Waste Partnership.
Barbados competed among over 100 proposals and we were successful, and we are going to be receiving some grant funding around the tune of 170,000 Barbados dollars to conduct an assessment of plastics in Barbados. Our project proposal was entitled Enhancing Opportunities to Create a Circular Economy Through Improved Management of Plastics and Plastics Waste. The intent behind this particular proposal is to look at all of the plastics coming into the island and do what is known as a material flow analysis to allow us to understand in more detail the volumes of plastics that are imported into the island, the distribution of those plastics, and how those plastics get into the waste system.
That's our update of news. Remember, we have more news coming your way at 12 noon for Newsday. then you can tune into our stations, our radio stations, Q100.7 FM, 98.1 The One, and 94.7 FM for the world at 1. Morning Barbados continues after this break.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Because you love English Premier League, MCTV has got it back. Now you can watch all the games of the English Premier League plus UEFA and NFL on MCTV. Current customers can upgrade to Matchback Extra at just $23. Call MCTV today at 228-6288 to upgrade or come in and sign up for a new service. Football fans, let MCTV get you back in the game.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 50.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Stones, trees, and bamboo. It's like walking into a garden when you enter Shi Jinsong's studio. Various materials are used to create the scenery. And these elements are the source of the inspiration for what he has called the garden in the living room. This tree is part of his great song series, the Chinese word for pine tree. He explains how the idea came about in 2005.
就像我们家院子，然后他们修路，这条树林没有了。 你看着那个满地的那个树木的那种残枝和败叶的时候，你会很伤感。你希望把它们复活，所以我就把它们清理出来，把它组装起来。我想把它们还原成一棵树。那么它树是什么样？
Now, this is one of the many shows from CCTV, China Media Group, and they are present not only in the other part of the world, but certainly here in the Caribbean through their affiliation with Latin America and the Caribbean. And we have a very interesting guest, well, two very interesting guests with us this morning. One not so new to the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation, but the other we have to give a grand welcome. So let's say good morning and welcome to the CEO of the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation, Mr. Sanka Price, who is sitting in the interviewee's chair today. And along with him, we have Gong Xingchen, who is a journalist with the China Media Group for Latin America and the Caribbean. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
All right, well, let me start with you, Mr. Price. It's wonderful to have the China Media Group represented here. They're here for a very important reason as we move forward in looking to working together in future in a very interesting way, which you will lay out for us.
Yes, thank you very much, Tisha, and good morning, Barbados. I'm pleased to announce that by month end, the China Media Group and the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation, we've reached an agreement, and we've now formed a partnership, and we will be receiving English-speaking programs on culture and technology from the China Media Group. Ms. Gong, as you said, she's from the Latin America and Caribbean office. It's based in Brazil, and we're here looking at some collaboration on producing a couple of programs that can also be shown in China. So that's the exciting news.
Wonderful, and I can see how a partnership like that can truly flourish and be beneficial to both parts of the world in terms of information sharing, culturally, technology, information, and other areas. Now, for you, I know this is not the primary reason you're here in Barbados, so talk to us about what inspired your trip to Barbados and what has been your impression of the island so far.
Thank you for inviting me, and good morning, Barbados.
and I have been here for several days, and I think the most attractive part of this country is, of course, the extraordinary scenery and the beach, the sunshine, and I think you are fortunately enjoy this every day. And I have visited Harrison's Cave, and it was very wonderful. The scenery inside the cave was very unforgettable. And also I visited several beaches. And besides this extraordinary scenery, I found that people here in Barbados are very friendly. And also when I and my friend, we were walking on the road and taking bus, we met many people who said hello and thanks in Mandarin. I think, yeah, we were really surprised because here Barbados is very far from China, and they are interested to know China and to know some culture and the language of China. I think that's a good signal for us. Maybe we can start from here, our collaboration. Yeah.
With this new collaboration, what are some of the opportunities that you see for increased cultural exchange and collaboration, as you mentioned, between China and Barbados?
Yeah, as I said before, I found so many people, they can speak something in Chinese, even though something basic, but they know something about China. And when we do some interview on the road, they talked about Chinese medicine, about acupuncture. Yeah, I think these are the ways that we can begin to start our cooperation. And the China Media Group, we have many resources, relatives like this. Maybe we can give you some kind of materials, and we can make this kind of exchanges in this area.
Your thoughts, Mr. Price, about the collaboration and how this can lead to increased collaboration across the world?
Well, I'm very interested in the technology aspect, and China, as you know, is one of the leading technologically advanced countries in the world. And what really impressed me is that we began to look at some of the programs, and there was one that jumped at me called Tech It Out, T-E-C-H, Tech It Out. And they were talking about the whole solar industry, and energy, alternative energy sources, which is like something that we are immersed in Barbados, given our goals for 2030. And the simple explanations was something that I found that would be very, very interesting to Barbadians. And we can go on. But as I went on reviewing some of the programs, I realized that we can actually learn a lot. I mean, as average Barbadians, it gave you a level of information and insight that one does not normally get. And these are the types of programming that we need on CBC to enable Barbadians to be more informed. And I thought that was very good.
I absolutely agree. I know there was a thrust a few years ago to expose Barbadians to Mandarin, and maybe we're seeing the benefits of that with people greeting you in Mandarin on the streets around Barbados and seeking to talk more about Chinese culture and so on. But with that said, how do you think Chinese culture can be further explored and promoted and shared with the people of Barbados?
As mentioned, Mr. Price, China Media Group and the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation will have this kind of cooperation. I think the exchange between medias is a very great way. We can build a great platform to the two peoples of the countries to know each other's culture. Not only the Chinese culture, not only the Chinese technology information, but also the Caribbean scenery, the Caribbean culture. We are also very interested. We have another platform, part of CMG. It is called China Global Television Network. It is an English channel. We have news, materials, documentaries. We have also spaces for you to tell your story on this platform. I think this is the most important.
And actually, that's where we're heading eventually. It'll take a little time, as you know, to build up. The initial partnership would involve getting the program, the English-speaking programming, and I want to emphasize English-speaking, not subtitles as yet. And then the second phase, which will follow very quickly after, is actually trying to produce programs about Barbados and Barbadian culture. Like I was talking to Ms. Kong about road tennis, for example, which is like their ping pong, and not as and she was fascinated by that, and of course I had to show her the landship. So, and I can go on, but the whole point is that there are aspects of our culture that people would find very fascinating in China.
Absolutely. What are some of the experiences, though, that you've had here in Barbados since you visited over the last few days? And, how have they impacted on your perspective of the island and our culture, some of what Mr. Price has been talking about?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think during these days when I visited in this island, there is another thing that attracts me most. Me and my friend, we were walking on the road, and we saw on the very first day, we saw some slogans and advertisements to say how to protect the turtles here.
Wow,
the great turtles.
Today.
Yeah, I like it very much. How to protect the turtles here. They told us what kind of turtles you have here, and maybe they will lay eggs on the beaches and don't disturb them. And when you see some turtles, they need help, they need rescue, which numbers you can call to contact and to ask them help. I think this is the attractive things for me, because this reflects that Barbados is a country that pay more attention to the environment protection. I think this will also be a very well received topic in China. Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm happy that you are as into turtles as we are. All right. Certainly a groundbreaking effort from you, and I had an opportunity to look at some of the content as well, and it definitely is content that will be well received by the Barbadian public, as I find that we are people who love new information, love to find out new and exciting things, and as we move toward a world where we most certainly need to know more about our neighbors, where we've recognized that we are closer than we think we are through space or divided by sea, it most certainly is a great initiative to bring us closer and to teach our people a little bit more about what's happening around the world. I'm sure you'd agree, Mr. Price.
I certainly do.
I'll agree more.
All right. I want to thank you both for coming in and sharing with us. This certainly is wonderful news to hear that the China Media Group will be working along with us to share information in both directions. In the first instance, sharing some programming in English with our viewers here in Barbados, and as we move quickly into a second phase, to be able to offer opportunities for us to share content and share more about Barbadian culture with the people of China, or certainly the people who view your vast network, because we know that your company, China Media Group, is one of the largest media conglomerates across the world. So again, thank you. Continue to enjoy your time in Barbados. And I certainly hope you've had a chance to try some food, some local cuisine, because I think when we talk to Barbadians, top of mind, apart from acupuncture, top of mind might definitely be food.
Yeah. I have tried flying fish. Maybe I'll explore more in a few days.
All right. Well, thank you both for sharing with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we take another break here and come on back on Morning Barbados. Do stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you...
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Welcome back to Morning Barbados. Today we have lots of great entertainment pieces to share with you and some exciting information as well. So this segment is no different. We now invite Aisha Coppin, who is a consultant with the Barbados Trust Fund Limited, and Marvel Seeley, a client with the Barbados Trust Fund Limited, to join us as we talk today about the Barbados Trust Fund Limited Cooperative, which is the formation of the cooperative coming out of the BTFL. So good morning, ladies, and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
You're most welcome. Thanks for waking up this early to share with us. Now, Aisha, talk to us about the formation of this cooperative. This certainly is a wonderful move in the right direction as you continue to assist Barbadian entrepreneurs and those who are looking to get into business or are into business already as it may be.
Okay, that's an excellent question. So I am very passionate about this project. And one of the pillars that helps with the Barbados Trust Fund, their core values is cooperation. And it also speaks to one of the principles of cooperatives, which is collaboration amongst other cooperatives. So those words mean a lot to me, where persons, like-minded persons, can come together, share ideas, and get, new products developed, because those are things that we're going to work on, market entry, diversification. So there's a lot that can be happening, and we want to assist them in their entrepreneurial journeys and further business development. So there's a lot happening on this front.
So what you're doing is moving toward letting like-minded clients work together, kind of setting the scene. So tell us how it will be laid out, or how it will work generally for these like-minded business people to be able to lean on and work with each other.
So what will happen is we have our meetings. So we are a self-governed business entity, and it's another step for them to have another business apart from their individual businesses. But again, like I said, when these persons get together and they share their ideas of how they approach business, and they learn from one another, and they take pieces and collaborate, and it allows for further development, economic, social, and for persons to see where they can benefit each other and pull resources from each other, which is important because one person may not have the information that another person can provide.
Now, Aisha, you've brought along Miss Seeley with you, so I want you to bring Miss Seeley along for our discussion. I know that she is a client of the Barbados Trust Fund Limited, so share with us how she is benefiting from Barbados Trust Fund Limited and this new initiative.
Okay, so here we have our interim president, Ms. Marvel Seeley. She has done a fantastic job so far in directing our members, all 13 of them, scheduling the meetings, having agendas done. She has been a pillar in getting everything together and making everything, along with other directors, of course, getting everything moving. So she can speak to how she plans to move forward as it speaks to the cooperative.
All right, that's for you, Marvel. Go right ahead and tell us. So congratulations on being the interim president, or the inaugural president, rather, of the cooperative. And tell us what your plans are moving forward.
Okay, thank you very much. Thanks for the opportunity to be here. First of all, let me say a big thank you to the Barbados Trust Fund Limited and to Ms. Coppin for guiding and directing us through this process as we form the Unified Trust Cooperative Society. We are only 6 weeks old, having been formed officially on the 19th of April. So at the moment, we are currently looking at our initial and short-term goals. So we're going to focus on our brand awareness. We are also going to focus on how we can get other like-minded entrepreneurs like ourselves from across the 3 sectors that currently make up the cooperative, which are the wine and spirit sector, the beauty and skincare sector, the confectionery, condiments, and consumables sector. So we will continue to work collaboratively recognizing that the cooperative really provides that platform for persons or members to come together with a common goal, ensuring that how we conduct our business leads to the financial viability of the cooperative and by extension to the individual businesses, helping them with their professional and personal development as well.
All right, that certainly is a lot to do. And Ms. Coppin, I would imagine that the response has been phenomenal. Talk to us about how the clients generally have responded to this initiative. I believe your mic might be muted. Okay, so go again for us. How have clients been responding to the initiative?
Yes, you can hear me now? Fantastic. So they have been very responsive. They've been attending their meetings. We have persons who are ready to knock down the doors and to come on board as well. But as I said, we are 6 weeks, as our president just said, we're 6 weeks old. So we're still working on the initial logistics, but we will be up and running and membership will be open, and hopefully you'll have us back and we can share more information on opening up that membership.
Absolutely. I'm sure that people are just waiting for you to be able to share more of the information. But for your tenure, Madam President, I most certainly will refer to you as Madam President. For your tenure, what are you hoping to see? And foremost, as a business person yourself, I am sure that there are certain things that you would like to see a cooperative like this one be able to do for your business, which then will translate to the other businesses that are involved in the entire initiative. So what are some of the things that you would like to see on a personal level as a business person achieved through this initiative?
Okay, as a business person, basically what I would like to see achieve for myself and also for other members of the cooperative is the ability to operate on economies of scale, when we can come together as a cooperative to do things that normally on an individual basis that we would not have been able to do. Also the aspect of looking at distribution, looking at marketing. How can we come together? How can we make it better for our business? Because sometimes when you enter business, yes, you're producing products, but however, there are other things that are missing, important things. How do you market yourself? How do you present your business? How do you speak to persons about your business? So under the Barbados Trust Fund Limited and the Manifest program that they had, those were some of the things that we actually learned. And those are the things that we're using now to carry forward as we seek to improve our business. Also, we look at education and training. How can we better ourselves? How can we form partnerships for our business on an individual basis and also as part of the cooperative? So the bottom line really is to ensure growth and development, not only individually for our businesses, but also as part of the cooperative. So it comes together, it meshes, so to speak, so that at the end of the day, we are all benefiting, whether personally or professionally. And that leads to economic viability for our businesses and which spread throughout the community as well.
Absolutely. Now, Ms. Coppin, I want you to get a little more granular when you talk about why small businesses should be a part of this. Because for some people looking on, you know, they might think, okay, here's another initiative, but how will it truly benefit me? So reach out to that particular person who might be looking on and who has a small business, but doesn't necessarily see from the outset the benefits that can be derived from, you know, just being a part of a cooperative of this type.
Okay, so for our vision for this cooperative, we are trying to be a 100% uniquely Barbadian-made product, manufacturers, services, all those things. We just want to be focused on Barbadian-made. That is our market. So we are venturing out with our other business support organizations to get our clients fully involved in not only brand awareness on a national level, but we're trying to get them regionally and internationally as well. So that's why this cooperative is important. It's not just about being known here, we're trying to get them to the next level.
And Ms. Seeley, for you, so far, how many people do you have engaged or interested? Because as president, I'm sure you can't move around without sharing a little bit about it, even with the people around you who might not be business people as yet, but with so many ideas and with so much planned ahead, I'm sure that you've been creating quite the stir sharing about it.
Exactly. And there are a number of persons waiting just to get in the door, as I should have mentioned earlier. But currently, we only have 13 members spanning across 10 businesses from the three sectors that I would have mentioned before. But as soon as we realize our initial logistics and some of our short-term goals, we will be opening up to those members who are eagerly waiting to get into the cooperative so that they can also benefit from being a member as well.
Ms. Coppin, talk about connections now. That's equally as important for people to be able to reach out and get some more information. So are you yet on social media, or how can people garner more information about what's planned?
So we will stay tuned on that front because we're still working that out. We're getting our social handles, our email addresses, our network, and our secretary, Corey Williams, is hard at work on that and getting those things together. So as soon as that information is readily available, it will be provided, and we will be on social media and letting you know what is going on behind the scenes. We'll have some videos. We'll show you the products that our members are working with, showing you the full scope of what we have in store. So we will not be leaving anyone behind in terms of what we are planning.
Ms. Seeley, as a client of the Barbados Trust Fund Limited and now the president of the upcoming cooperative, you have the final word as to why business people should be a part of it. So here's your stage. Take it away.
Yes, I encourage everyone across the three sectors to come and be a part of the cooperative. The cooperative operates from 6 cooperative values and 7 principles that guide all cooperatives organizations. Persons would have the opportunity to have a vote. It's a democratic organization. Each one has that equal vote to choose and to have a say. You will also benefit from working together, bringing your own skills, your own knowledge and expertise to the cooperative. It's also a way of improving growth through the capacity to create other jobs. So persons can become members, persons can work for the cooperative as well. And also you have that ability to partner with other entities across the public and private sector that perhaps as an individual business you would not have had that opportunity before. So we welcome you, we look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you. Marvell Seeley, thank you so very much. And we'd like to thank you, Aisha Coppin, consultant with the Barbados Trust Fund Limited as well, for sharing with us this morning. Certainly something for small business people to look forward to. And as you mentioned, having these initiatives where small business people can work together can make all the difference for businesses, for the country, and for what they're able to do in business generally. So thank you, ladies, for sharing with us.
Thank you so much as well.
Morning Barbados. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
You know we're busy with Twitch, Discord, and YouTube, but you got a multitude of ways to hook up our network, yet you can't seem to figure out when and how to reach me? You got a not always bothering me when I ain't able to talk, yet you ain't reachable when I want you? I ain't got no time to be chasing after nobody. My hypothesis, clearly, you aren't smart enough to know how to use the right technology appropriately. Guess you aren't built that way.
A better banking experience is here. You'll get more benefits with Barbados' only digital bank, Sagicor Bank. Upgrade to smarter technology for banking. Download the app to open your new account in a jiffy. Everyone deserves better banking with Sagicor Bank.
Digital banking is definitely the way of the future, and the future is now with Sagicor Bank. Let's say good morning and welcome to Morning Barbados to Mr. George Thomas, CEO of Sagicor Bank Barbados Limited.
Morning, Tisha. Morning, Barbados.
Good to have you with us. And Leanne Oselmo is Chief Client Officer with Sagicor Bank Limited. Welcome.
Morning. Thank you, Tisha. Lovely to be here.
All right. It's wonderful to have you. And I think George knows already how excited I am personally to hear that we can now boast having a truly digital bank here in Barbados. So talk to me all about that. What does it mean in real terms to have a truly digital bank as compared to what we experience on a daily basis, what we're accustomed to?
Well, you're accustomed to phygital, right, which is a mixture of brick and click, brick and mortar clicks, but we are 100% digital in that from the convenience of your home or wherever you are, in the palm of your hand is your bank, in the app. The app, you download the app from any of the app stores, and you can go to www.sagicor.bank and you'll see the app store links. You download the app and you can onboard in the privacy of your own home. You want one piece of government ID and you want one proof of address, and you're off to the races. It's that simple. Also, when you're on board, you can open accounts immediately, including fixed deposits, and we issue you with a virtual card. So while you're waiting for your physical debit card, which is a MasterCard debit card, you have a virtual card that you can go to the ATM and deposit funds and eventually withdraw funds without needing a physical card. So it's a true digital experience. And loans, bill payments, applications for mortgages, car notes, whatever, it's all online in the palm of your hand on the app.
All right, Leanne, as client officer, chief client officer, you know, clients are going to be coming your way. Let's talk functionality, because there are a lot of people who know how to use their devices, as in their cell phones, but when it comes to getting into things that are a little more specific like this, it might take a little time for them. So is the app that easy to navigate that people don't necessarily need to be scared about, okay, how am I going to get this done?
So, short answer, yes, it's very easy for you to navigate, but we also offer a lot of support for clients. George mentioned our website, sagicor.bank, so www.sagicor.bank, so you can go to get all of the information on our bank and how to interact with the app as well. On our website, we have lots of helpful videos, but we don't stop there. It's very important for us to distinguish ourselves in the client experience space. So we have a full group of experts that if you want to call and ask a question, you can. So our number is 2287-225 for our Client Experience Center, but you don't need to actually interact that way either. You can go on to any of our socials and ask a question. We have chat facilities that we will be able to chat direct with you. In the app itself, if you have something that you're unsure about doing, we have chat facility within the app too that you can chat with us, or even our AI Dot. So Dot knows a lot of different answers to a lot of questions that you may have, and if you don't want to speak to Dot, you can ask, can I please chat with an expert? So there's lots of ways in which our clients can interact directly with a human being. Even though we're digital, we still want to give people that human touch. We also have our Client Experience Center in Worthing Corporate Center, our main location. So again, you can schedule an appointment to come in and see us. We have the ability to do it on our website, as we mentioned, and you can also just come on in and talk to us, and we'll help get you started in terms of onboarding.
Let's talk about the next big S in the room, security. People will obviously be very, very intrigued about how secure banking online is. We've moved to that place, in a manner of speaking, but still kind of teeter-tottering on the brick and mortar, as you mentioned, and back and forth, doing a little bit of it, kind of, you know, getting the toes wet. This is all in.
Yes.
So security is very, very important.
Yes. So we are compliant with the industry-leading standards, the ISO standards, the SOC 2, ISO 27001, for those cybersecurity experts that are listening in, and SOC 2. And we are continuously evaluating every time we do a release, penetration testing, vulnerability scans, and our system was built with security in mind. At every step, we are embedding the security frameworks, security protocols, and also training, because you can have all the technology and all the risk protections in the technology you want, but it's about driving client awareness. So we are, part of our remit is to make our clients as aware as possible about basic cyber hygiene, how to protect yourself online.
That's important, and I think people will want to hear more about that. What I want to hear more about is what you're offering.
Oh, that, okay, so I can't wait to get started with that. So we've launched with 4 main products. We have our dot deposit product, which is a transaction product, and you use that for everyday banking. So you can use that to pay your bills or transfer money from Sagicor Bank to other banks, or among your Sagicor accounts, or to someone at Sagicor. In addition to that, we have our dot savings account. Our dot savings account pays a 1.5% interest. What I didn't mention, which I think, yes, so there are no fees associated with all of our accounts, and we also don't, there's no minimum balance to open an account with us, which is huge. So you don't have to find $150 to open an account. You can open an account if you want with $10, give us a try, and then move your money and earn that wonderful interest. Our next account is our dot expert savers. That starts at $2,500. We're paying an interest rate of 2% on that account. And then finally, we have a dot deposit USD. Again, no fees. This is if you earn US, if you earn US currency, you just need to give us a proof of source of income. And once you've provided that, then that's it. You have a full account that's in US dollars.
All right, so full functionality.
And fixed deposits.
Yes. I'm so sorry, fixed deposits. So we have a 1-year fixed deposit at 2%, and we have a 2-year fixed deposit at 2.5%.
Oh, those are some good percentage interest rates. Yeah. And I'm sure a lot of people are intrigued. Some people might have a windfall and they're thinking about what they can do with it. Who knows? Might be people closer than you think, but definitely some very interesting, you know, products that you are offering, financial services products that you're offering. So let's talk a little bit more about digital banking itself, because this really is the difference in what you're offering. There were a few online offers early on, but you did not have that functionality to truly be able to, as you mentioned, even go in and use your ATM card, work back and forth with your cash, and so on. Tell us about the people who might still be holding to traditional things. We know how it goes here in Barbados. People usually, you know, they have to be helped a little, and a lot of us hold back to see how things turn out. So about people who might not be as au fait with digital banking, but still want to get into the experience before they're fully immersed. Talk about the initial introduction to the Sagicor Digital Bank.
So that's why we have a great client experience team, which is led by Leanne. So if you want that more personal touch to understand more, you can come to our client experience center in Worthing, and we will walk you through everything. Also, we have online videos. You can go to our website and get more information. But especially for those persons that are not into technology, we made it such that we break down the barriers to make it easier and make you feel secure, and make it also rewarding with the percentages on interest.
I saw you nodded in agreement, Leanne.
Yeah, of course. I think our methodology, how we have approached our development of our app and all of our banking services is very iterative. And it's based on feedback from clients. So what we have done over the last few months since we've launched is we're listening to our clients and we're making improvements on the user experience. So the focus has always been client from the very beginning, and all different types of clients, all ages, etc. We want to be as inclusive as we possibly can be, and so our app is designed in such a way that the user experience is easy and very simple for people to even go through the onboarding process.
And an example of that is we launched with an app, but some of the elder population said to us, listen, we looking at doing our banking in our hand is a thing. Give us something on the screen. So we're launching net banking. We brought that forward several months, again, in response to that demand. So again, we listen, we're iterative, we listen, and that's part of our process. We are building this bank together with our clients. It's not just us throwing stuff out there, but we're really responding to the needs of our client base.
All right, so let's lay out for people what they need to do. I think we mentioned very quickly in the opening what you need to bring, how you need to start it. So are we starting by downloading the app?
Download the app.
All right,
from the
so
App
lay it
Store.
out for us.
Yeah.
Right, so you download the app from the App Store. The next thing you'll do is you'll click on Become a Client, follow the prompts on the screen. Just have ready your government issued ID, so that's either your passport, your driver's license, or your Barbados ID. Once you've done that, it'll ask you to do a selfie. So do a selfie, smile while you're doing your selfie.
Finally, you can get a picture that is one you want.
Exactly. And then we will ask you for a bill. So you just need to either upload a bill from your phone, because now most of us receive bills on our phone, or take a photo of a bill. It has to be under 3 months. It could also be a bank statement. If you don't have proof of address in that way, for instance, you're someone who's living at home with your parents, etc., a letter from your parents would suffice for us, or a landlord, right? And then once you've completed that, the system automatically fills in a lot of the information for you, and you progress through the additional screens. There are only 4 additional screens after you have done that exercise. And then you set your passcode, which is a 6-digit code, and basically you're off to the races after that. You can then open your first account, and if you want to open your second account, it takes seconds to open your second account.
Some people have gotten on board in less than 10 minutes. One person said they got on board less than 5 minutes.
Well, that's certainly a drastic change from what obtains now when it comes to setting up a bank account. If we're talking about being a fully functional bank, we talked about deposits, we spoke a little bit about interest rates. It's important to talk about lending as well, particularly if you want people to come on board and feel like, this is my bank fully. So talk to us about your lending instruments.
Yeah, we have secured loans, unsecured loans, car notes, both new and used, and mortgages. And we also do land loans as well. So the full range of retail lending services are all available in the palm of your hand. Everything is online.
All right, everything is online, and they're going to be onboarding me when we get off air.
Yes.
So I'm very intrigued and very interesting. I want to thank both of you for coming in and starting the conversation, because this is a good start. But I know there are many other questions that will come. I'm sure Dot is absolutely ready to take on a few of those questions. But as people get more engaged with the digital space, I'm sure they're going to have other questions, and maybe some that you've anticipated already, that they just want to hear an actual voice. So that too is available to be able to share.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes. And we have an extensive roadmap, so we are continuously rolling out new products. So keep on the lookout for that. We will come back and talk about the
You have to.
We have some new exciting products that are coming on the road. Amazing products.
All right, good stuff. So thank you so much for coming in and sharing with us, Mr. George Thomas, CEO of Sagicor Bank Barbados Limited, the first truly digital experience in banking, and Leanne Osalmo, Chief Client Officer with Sagicor Bank Barbados Limited. We certainly will be telling you more about it in the coming weeks and months. Coming up next on Morning Barbados, we're going to tell you where you need to go this weekend. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb, and together we will travel the world.
Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more. You get it all when you get MCTV, because MCTV gives you more.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Because you love English Premier.
To Gillian Birchwood, because she comes through to talk about the little ones and what's happening with them. And we most certainly have to pay attention to what's going on with the little ones, because most of the time they depend on us to really see what's happening. They're not necessarily in a position to share, some of them, what's happening and explain. So good morning, Dr. Birchwood. Good to have you with us again.
Good morning, Tisha, and good morning, all of Barbados.
All right, so this morning we're looking at skin problems, pesky skin problems. And I know, when we say skin problems, we can talk about that for ages. But a lot of little ones are dealing with things like eczema. So let's talk a little bit about that. Even that in and of itself is vast talking. So how do you know if your little one is having skin problems, and more specifically, something like eczema?
Yes, at certain times of the year, you will find that there will be flare-ups and in complaints of parents about their children having eczema. And definitely now is one of those times of the year, because it's really, really hot outside. And heat is a major trigger for eczema. So one of the first things that parents will notice in a child who has eczema is that there will be intense itching. So eczema is often described as the itch that rashes. And so the hallmark really is constant itching. You may not even see a rash in the beginning. It may be quite some time before you notice a rash, but that child will be scratching. They'll be uncomfortable. If they're a baby, they'll be fussy. In old children, they may not sleep well. And you can see that there's a lot of redness and inflammation. And you can notice it in very young children on the cheeks, on the knees, on the elbows, and in older children, it may be in the areas that are in the creases. You can see here in children with darker skin, you may not see so much redness. You might see increased pigmentation or darkening of the skin from all of the irritation that can be present. It's really unpleasant for our little ones to have eczema.
Wow, Dr. Birchwood, what are some of the causes, or are there people who are more prone to having eczema than others?
Well, that's a really good question, because not everybody is going to be prone to having eczema. And what you'll find is that people who have a family history of allergies like asthma, hay fever, eczema, they all tend to be inherited together. So you'll find that a parent may have asthma and their child might have eczema, or a parent might have hay fever and they're more likely to have a child who has eczema. So it really is an allergic condition, or in medical terms, we refer to it as being an atopic condition, really referring to that tendency for allergies that runs in the family. So definitely you can almost pinpoint who's most likely to have that in their family, unfortunately.
Let's talk about treatment, because it is a topical, on the skin, where you can see on the skin surface. Is it easier to treat than other conditions?
It depends on the degree of severity of the eczema. Mild eczema is fairly straightforward to treat, but some children have moderate to severe eczema, which can be much more challenging to deal with. But the mainstay of treatment is dealing with that itch. Prevention is really important, preventing flare-ups as much as possible. And the foundation of treatment is really to increase and boost the moisture levels in the skin. Children who have eczema, their skin barrier is not the same as those who do not have eczema. And they will often respond, the parents will report their children's skin is so dry. Just boosting the moisture levels can be incredibly helpful. And that starts at bath time. So you want them to bathe in lukewarm, not hot water. That's going to trigger the reaction and make the eczema flare. You're going to want to use one of those really sensitive skin cleansers or soaps. And then when they're finished in the bath, you want to pat their skin dry and layer on an ointment or cream moisturizer, not a lotion, which isn't moisturizing enough. And for those areas that are very itchy, you may need to use a topical steroid. Parents get afraid of the word steroid, but it really is an anti-inflammatory and can be a game changer for children who have major flare-ups and itching related to eczema.
All right, for the smaller babies, for the little ones, I know that initially we hear a lot about something called cradle cap. Is this in any way related to eczema? What is it?
So cradle cap can sometimes be confused with eczema. One major difference is that with cradle cap, there isn't the itching. So whereas itching is a huge part of the eczema, with cradle cap, the children will have these scaly looking areas on their scalp, on their eyebrows, face, ears, diaper area, and creases. But the kids are really quite comfortable despite the appearance with the redness and the kind of greasy yellow flakes that you can get with cradle cap. And so it is really quite a different condition. Again, there's a reaction to a type of yeast that grows on the skin, as well as overproduction of oil glands on the skin that combines to create that problem. And the treatment is completely different. We may use an antifungal cream to combat that yeast. And in some cases, we may also use a mild steroid if there's inflammation or redness on the skin. But it's quite a different condition in terms of the way that it behaves and how the kids feel when they have it.
Well, I think the most important thing is for us to stay on top of what's happening with the children. And, as long as we observe what's happening with them, then we might be able to see if there are any changes to how they react, how the skin is looking and things like that. So we most certainly can get on top of any issues they're having. Thank you so much, Dr. Gillian Birchwood. Always so wonderful to speak with you. Always very, very insightful.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
And you. So we certainly hope we've shared lots with you today. So coming up this week, the Socoholics are going to be out. You want to make sure that you go out during the week. We are going to be heading out. We will tell you exactly where we are going and why you should be there. And there's still a lot of things happening over the weekend too. Hey, coming up tomorrow on Morning Barbados, Caribbean Home Help will be here. We're going to talk to you about movement and why it's important as we age for us to continue moving. Talking HR with the Human Resources Management Association of Barbados, we have a topic that you simply cannot afford to miss. The Rotary Club of Barbados will be in. It is Myasthenia Gravis Awareness Month, and we'll be updating you on what's happening with that. Plus, a new song by Georgie. He's going to be here with us on Morning Barbados. So as you go through your day, be careful. Remember to wear your smiles. Have a good one. Wishing you all the best from the entire crew. Until tomorrow, bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning.